Displaying information while playing is something that any PC gamer needs, but although nowadays every GPU has its own overlay, they lack customization, they don't display that much information, or they are just a buggy mess. So in this video I'm going to show you how to set up Rivatuner statistics server using MSI Afterburner. First things first, make sure you have both programs installed. If you don't, in the description I will leave the links to do so. Once you have both, open the Rivatuner Statistics Server application, go to the system tray and left click on this icon. This will open the program and here enable the Start with Windows and Show on-screen display. Then go to Setup and in the General tab scroll down and enable Use Microsoft Detours API hooking. This one is essential because if you have it disabled and use any other application like OBS or the Steam overlay, you will run into issues like the game not being captured properly or the overlay is not working. With this done, just minimize the application, do not close it since it will actually close the whole thing and nothing will work, and open MSI Afterburner and maybe a game in windowed mode so you can see the changes to the overlay in real time. Now, since Rivatuner will take the information from this application and display it, if you don't have it running, it won't work. So enable Afterburner to start with Windows. Now open the properties and head to the monitoring tab. As you can see, it has plenty of options and you can enable all of them if you want, but let's configure one first so you can see how this works. I think GPU temperature is a good one to begin with. So select it and in the graph properties enable showing on-screen display and hit apply. And voila! The GPU temperature is now being displayed in the game. Now you might be wondering what these other properties are for, so let me show you what they do. In this drop-down menu you can change how the stats are displayed and you can set it as just text, a graph or text and a graph. I am going to skip the Logitech thing because I don't have a keyboard to show it off, but in short, if your keyboard has a screen, you might be able to display the stats here. The show in tray icon, as its name implies, lets you see the numbers in your system tray and you can have them displayed in both or either one of them. This is very useful if you're using programs where you don't want to see the overlay, but you still want to make sure that everything is fine, like with the Adobe Suite, Olama or Blender. Unlike the drop menu from before, you can set it up to either show a text or a bar chart which can have a different accent color. You can also set an alarm for when, let's say, your GPU temperature goes over a specific amount of degrees and it will change the stats color so you can be warned. And if you click on these three dots, you can also enable a sound, which really does a good job at alerting you, or launch an application or command line. The graph limit boxes are where you set up the minimum and maximum values that should be displayed in either the graph or bar chart so you can have a tighter or looser graph. And if you don't like how Afterburner groups or names things, you can change this by overriding the graph or group name. Just make sure that the things you want together are named the same. The rest of the options don't really affect the overlay, so I won't get into them. The next step, then, is to enable and adjust all the stats you want to see, which in my case are GPU usage, GPU memory usage, GPU core clock, GPU memory clock, GPU power, GPU voltage, CPU temperature, CPU usage, CPU clock, CPU power, RAM usage, frame rate, and frame time. Side note, if you see the properties grayed out, just click on the check mark and that should fix it. Adjust them how you want, drag them up or down depending on how you want them arranged in the rows, and lastly, head to the on-screen display tab and on the toggle on-screen display, set whatever hotkey you want. One issue you might have is that the overlay appears in an application that shouldn't have it. To fix this, just open Rivatuner, click the Add button, look up the application, make sure it's selected, and set the application detection level to none. You can also do the inverse and set the global detection level to none and the application to low, so the overlay only works on that specific application. But honestly, it's easier to just exclude the ones where you don't want the overlay. Another issue you could have is that the overlay is too little or too big. And to fix this, in the Rivatuner app, you just need to move the slider of the on-screen display zoom according to your needs. Oh, and here you can also change the position of it if you like. And there you go! You should have a nice, clean, and very informational overlay that works every time. However, if you encounter any issues or have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. As always, thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Bye bye!